Hello, this is session 5. Welcome to one and all. I'll be taking the class today regarding the theory part, that is, we are going to learn how to read sheet music. So let's get to that. You see my screen here. We see this is the symbol for treble clef. Okay, this one here, the symbol for treble clef, that is, which means that you have to play with your right hand. And for the treble clef, we have these 5 lines. To remember these 5 lines, all the lines has an alphabet, okay, to it. That is, every line has an alphabet attached to it. E, G, B, D, F. To remember it, we just need to remember this sentence: every green bus drives fast. Once you learn this, every green bus drives fast, you will be able to learn these 5 lines: E, G, B, D, F. You see, whole note is present here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you learn that, we are going to learn the next one, which is the space notes. For the space, it's very easy. All that you have to remember is spelling of a face: F-A-C-E. Space means face, F-A-C-E. If you remember that, you're done with your spaces in the treble clef. Moving on to learn bass clef line notes. See, bass clef is represented by an opposite C with 2 dots exactly between the second line from top. Okay, to remember this, G, B, D, F, A, okay, we all need to learn only the same sentence that we already learned, but the first word is taken out and it's added on with another word at the last. Green buses drive fast always. Green buses drive fast always. For our treble clef, we learned every green bus drives fast. For bass clef, remember, green buses drives fast always. Easy, isn't it? Okay. Now, for bass clef, for the spaces, you have to remember this sentence called all cows eat grass, which represents A, C, E, G. All cows eat grass. If you learned this together with me: every green bus drives fast, E, G, B, D, F, for the lines in treble clef, and for spaces F-A-C-E in treble clef, and for bass clef, if you learned green buses drives fast always for the lines, and for spaces you learned all cows eat grass, then you have already finished half of your learning about sheet music. Hope it was very easy for you to recognize this. Okay, moving on. How are we going to learn? The next thing, which is ledger lines. All that we have to remember is that ledger lines are the extra lines on top of these basic 5 lines or down of these basic 5 lines. It can either be on the top or down. Look here, there are 2 ledger lines here, up and above. There is 3 ledger lines here, up and above, up and below. So if you understand this, this will make your learning even more easier. What we have to do is, we have to remember E and Fs, all E and Fs in our treble clef. Okay, so to remember that, just remember the third line below is going to be F and the space below is going to be E. Likewise, the third line on the top is going to be E and the space above that is going to be F. If you remember that, we are going to apply the same formula that we learned to learn the treble clef. Every green bus drives fast, isn't it? We learned that right for the lines. Likewise, here also we are going to use the same thing, but for spaces in the ledger lines. Every green bus drives fast. Same way, for the lines here, we are going to use the formula of phase. F-A-C-E. Likewise here, if you know this E and F, from here F-A-C-E. And from here, every green bus drives fast. So I told you, like, if you had already learned every green bus drives fast and FACE, it's very easy to learn the ledger lines also if you can identify E and F's. E is exactly in the space below the third line, and E is exactly here on the line above in the ledger lines. Okay, moving on, same formula is applied for bass clef also. So what do we do in the bass clef? Same thing, the lines is G, green bus drives first always, and the space is all cows eat grass. Remember all the G's and A's wherever G and A comes. Okay, so the third line down below is A, and the space below that is going to be G. Similarly, the third line on the top ledger line is going to be G, and the space above that is going to be A. If you can remember this, you have already learned the ledger lines till here. The same thing follows moving forward. Top, how many ever ledger lines you have on the top or below. Just identify your G and A and go on, move from there. Thank you. Thank you for staying back and looking at the video, and I hope so you have learned a lot through this lesson. See you in the next session.